All right. With that,
Wow.
what's your reaction to that, Ricardo?
Just sad. I don't know. It's like, I can't believe the guy's still locked up. It's been, 50 years?
Yeah, he's been in there, almost 50 years.
Yeah.
And he's at USP Coleman. Okay, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. The reason I started the show off with that tonight, this was something, I've been planning on doing a show for a number of days, and I was getting ready to record a number of nights ago, and all of a sudden, Oglala comes up on my feed. And so I look at it, right? And so immediately I think Leonard Peltier. That was a video by Rage Against the Machine from their first self-titled album that came out in 1992. Yeah. Now, it's still relevant today, and they actually went back on tour again, which is kind of crazy for a band that big. I think they had done something like 300 and some odd shows in their whole career. I was fortunate enough to see them twice, and I was hoping to see them this summer, but, the whole COVID fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, you just got introduced to this whole situation, right?
But it's crazy that it's been 30 years since the song was released.
You've never heard of this guy?
No.
Nope, and that's the problem. Nobody ever has. I mean, and that video came out in 92. I remember watching it, and I got that album and listened to it over and over and over. I don't even know how many copies of that CD I went through. So anyway, this came up on my feed, and so I wrote a letter to Leonard. I wrote him back in the day when I was like in college, just a naive kid. Who knows if he got it, but he started off his bit at USP Leavenworth, and like I was explaining to you, there's different levels. For those of you that aren't familiar with the federal prison system, you have your supermaxes, which there's a number of them, but then you have what's called a USP, which is United States Penitentiary, and that's like the highest level, right? That's where like people get fucking killed all the time. It's very violent. It's very political. It's brutal. It's ruthless. And it's a very difficult environment, and it's scary as fuck to be in one of those places. Trust me. When you're on a fucking federal bus, and you look up and you see the sign about while you're going into Sallyport, and it says United States Penitentiary, Victorville. Yeah. Which, I was just like, oh fuck. I'm like, shit just got fucking real. Yeah. And so this guy's he's at USP Coleman, which is still any USP is violent. Yeah. It doesn't matter. They're violent. They're political. Everybody's got weapons. People get fucking, you've got a lot of guys that are down for life, like Leonard's down for two life sentences. So you got guys that don't give a fuck. They don't care. You disrespect them in the TV room. You disrespect them in the fucking chow line. You disrespect these dudes anywhere on the yard, and they don't give a fucking shit about sticking something in your neck because they got no hope. Yeah, they're not trying to get their good time. What's their good time? Yeah, when they die. So they don't give a fuck. They don't care, man. And it's a ruthless situation. And this guy's been stuck there for all these years. And I mean, he was guilty of basically protecting women and children on their encampment, on their reservation. And these two fucking FBI agents come on that fucking property chasing Jimmy Eagle, who was already told, Jimmy Eagle was told he was not allowed to be on the property because he drank a lot. He was a fucking nut. And he actually played in the movie Thunderheart. I don't know if you've seen that, but, and he speaks on a number of the different videos about this incident. But they had already told him, like the FBI had come on the property looking for him, and they said, look, he's not allowed on the property. And so then they said, well, that he was thought to be in a red vehicle. And Leonard Peltier had it was like a red, it looked like it could have been like maybe a Chevy or a Ford, like one of the first type of SUVs, right? And so supposedly that's what led him onto the property because they thought that Jimmy Eagle was in there. And their story is that they chased him onto the property. He jumped out. They started shooting. And they said that that Leonard Peltier, in effect, after they'd been shot, that he went and blew both their fucking brains out and turned them face down. Which, it was a 7-hour fucking firefight. Yeah, I mean, these in Leonard's history too, he had been part of the American Indian movement. He lived in Seattle. He lived in Portland. He and a couple of those other guys had gone down to Oklahoma because there was a couple incidents down there where American Indians were brutally murdered. Mm-hmm. like dismembered, and by these fucking punk ass like high school, college age kids, and they got like a year in like a goofy juvenile correctional institute.
Yeah.
And, nothing whatsoever like what Leonard got. But and the other two guys involved in the incident with Leonard, they were found not guilty. Leonard was illegally extradited. The video does a great job of explaining the whole story, but there's a lot more facets to it.
Yeah.
Like I was telling you, there was the woman that she was coerced into testifying. She didn't know him, but they told her, you're his ex-girlfriend, and she had kids, and she was mentally ill. It was known.
Yeah.
And they said, if you don't do this, we're taking your kids, and you're going to prison. And they said during the testimony that she gave that she kept saying, I'm sorry, Leonard, I'm sorry. Like she was apologizing to him while she was testifying. And he said he'd never seen her in his life. And she'd never seen him. And she comes out and admits that now. Like,
and it's like you're seeing your girlfriend, and it's like...
Yeah, and they did that, but the FBI did that to a lot of, to all the witnesses. And they destroyed a bunch of the evidence. I mean, this guy's been on the list of somebody to be pardoned. I mean, you look at it, he went in, 76?
Yeah.
I mean, look at how many presidents? I mean, when a president leaves office, they have an opportunity to pardon people, right?
Yeah.
And they have a list of potential pardons.
Wait,
so he's been up on the list through would have been Jimmy Carter,
Reagan,
Ronald Reagan, George Bush 1, Bill Clinton. Clinton said Clinton was considering it, and he said he was going to look into it, but instead he pardoned his drug dealer buddies, right? So he didn't do it, right? So you got George Bush Jr. He didn't do it. Obama didn't do it. Trump didn't do it. They've been putting it to Biden. He's not done anything. He can't even put his jacket on. I mean, it's pathetic. This man's 77. He just got diagnosed with COVID. So I started doing a little deep dive into what's been going on with this guy, because I was really into his case, before I went through all my shit. And as I told him in the letter that I sent him, is that I kind of just, and that's what happens when you're in prison. You go by the wayside, people forget about you.
Yeah.
And you're just considered not to even be a
alive.
Member of society anymore. Yeah. And I know what that's like. And so, I mean, I told him I was sorry for that. I asked him what I could do for him. And I can't do a lot, but I looked up who his attorney is, and it's a guy named Kevin Sharp. He was a federal judge in Tennessee. He retired, and he just so happened to be looking through cases. So he retired and returned to being an attorney. So he's looking through cases, and he comes up on Leonard Peltier, and he goes, what the fuck? This is a federal fucking judge. So Kevin Sharp, and I reached out to him too, Mr. Sharp, I hope you get back to me, because I'd really love to speak with you about this case. So I reached out to him, sent him a message, so here's a federal judge who sees this and understands the injustice that's been done, right? And so to sit here, and this is where I have a problem, when we have cases like this, when we have cases like with Leonard Peltier, and he's not the only one.
Yeah.
There are thousands upon thousands of cases like this where people are rotting away in prison right now for things that they were unjustly accused of because the Department of Justice needed to get convictions.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big thing. They just have to get, they have a 99, the conviction rate is like 99.7%. Like, unless you are super famous or are a billionaire or have amazing, I mean, even guys like Epstein. Look what they did to him. I mean, he suicided himself, allegedly. I mean, you really, once you're in that system, once you've been indicted in the federal system, you are not getting out of it, especially if you're just a regular person, especially if you're a minority.
Yeah.
And that's where the big-time disparity comes in. Now, I know a lot of white dudes that got unjustly convicted. I was one of them. But I did nothing compared to what this man's been through.
Yeah.
I mean, and he's had health problems over the years. They've given him no health. They've given him no medical. They're just like, fuck you, you're an Indian, we don't give a shit. And
that is...
At that age, his age, he should be... I mean, if they're going to keep him, he needs to be at a medical institution where he's getting the medical care, like that guard that we watched earlier was talking about. or they need to give them a compassionate release. But to get a compassionate release, they don't give a shit. They don't care. They get money for your ass being there every year. You know, they make money off that shit. And it's prison for profit. And it doesn't matter if it's the feds, if it's state level, these CCAs, they all get money, you know. Every federal institution has a unicorn shop where it's slave labor. I mean, I watched it with all the dudes that I knew that would come in, all the paisas from Mexico that would, you know, get busted on this and that and the other thing. And they, you know, these guys would come in, they would get greenlit to the unicorn shop where they were making 23 cents an hour. And as soon as they came eligible 5 months later for a raise to a measly $1 an hour, they'd put them dudes on a fucking bus and ship them out to the next institution. And so then they'd go and they'd start it over. As a white dude, I go in and I go to the unicorn to try and they're like, oh, you're at least a year out.
Yeah.
They didn't want me in there. They were bringing these guys in on the yard because that's who they wanted to hire because they could give them for 23 cents an hour. Then they're competing with these, you know, these government bids and contracts. Yeah. And who's going to compete with that? It's all a crooked fucking mess. And nobody understands it, man. Nobody understands what's really going on here. I mean, we're supposed to be the land of the free. We have the most incarcerated people in the world.
I mean, I didn't get it until I started talking to you about it. And it's like it's a huge eye-opener. It's like...
Yeah, people don't understand, man. Like, you look at the state of California. There are so many correctional institutes, whether they be state or federal, in California. It's ridiculous. And, you know, they make money. They're making money off it. Like a guy like Jeff Sessions, right? Mm-hmm. The little cookie gnome that was the AG for a little while.
Yeah.
I mean, his portfolio, he was invested in CCAs, which, like, when I was transported initially, it was through what they call a CCA. That's a private enterprise. And so they're traded on the stock market, right? Like, they have their own institutions, they have their own transport systems, they have their own guards. It's a private enterprise, but it's prison for profit. And Jeff Sessions was invested in that shit. And here he is, I mean, and he's up there saying, well, I've never known any good person that smoked marijuana.
What?
I mean, why would he say that? Because the more black men that are arrested on marijuana charges, the more money goes into his portfolio, and that's the problem in this country. So you want to talk about land of the free, home of the brave? No. Not even close. Until guys like Leonard Peltier and the thousands of others out there, and I could go down a list of guys I know personally that are in there and shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Until they're freed and until we stop this nonsense, I mean... You know, you're talking about a group of indigenous peoples that have had their entire land stolen. Yeah. They've been forced onto these areas of shitty land until
Indian reservation. It's like,
and you look at the land on almost every reservation. It's the shittiest property around, and then somebody will find fucking uranium, gold, any natural resource, oil, and then they kick them off. And and they tried to take a bunch of, I mean, they took a bunch of reservations and they canceled them basically and told people on these reservations, like, you're going to the city, you're getting a job, and that's the end of the story. And so not only is life dismal out on the reservation, but then when that's where you're raised, that's what you know, that's where you grow up, and then all of a sudden you get thrown into a fucking city, and now you're expected to go work some job, and you know, and you're getting fucking bullshit from it. I mean, you know, I'm sorry, but Native American people get a shit ton of you know, racial shit. They do, and it's bullshit, man. I mean, quite honestly, I think, I mean, I've spent time on the Paiute Reservation out in Nevada. You know, my great auntie Flora, she's a Tlingit Indian from Alaska, not any blood relation, but you know, my uncle, great uncle Bob married her, and she's a beautiful person, wonderful lady, just kind, sweet, love her to death. I mean, I've spent time, you know, not only down in, you know, the Wind River Reservation, but Crow Age. I mean, you know, I spent time with a lot of Native Americans in prison, you know, and I mean, and it's sad. It's a fucking horrible deal, you know. And then everybody says, "Oh, well, they get their Indian money." Come on, man. Are you kidding me? You know, I mean, look at the life on a reservation. I mean, people disappear out there on the reservation constantly, and nothing's ever done about it. I mean, if you were to take all of the female Native American women that have disappeared, and you were to put a white name on them, motherfucking people would still be. I mean, they don't give a shit. It's like that movie Wind River. I mean, that was a true fucking deal, man. And it happens. And it happens all the fucking time.
That movie is great. Yeah. I mean, it's hard.
It's hard to watch.
Yeah.
But to know that shit is what goes down. I mean, and I you know, I mean, it's a life there's desperation.
Yeah.
There's no hope. You know, I mean, I've seen, you know, young men out there, and it happens all the time on the Wind River, like outside of Lander. I mean, I watch these guys. They drink Sterno, like the shit that you put under a buffet chafing dish, the pink, and they call it squeeze. And they take that shit and they strain it through like a pair of pantyhose or cheesecloth, and they get this juice called squeeze, and they drink that shit, and they would walk they'll walk into Ray Lake and drown themselves. Now think about the desperation and how bad your life is when you walk into a lake and you don't have the will to merely swim up and take a breath. You just keep yourself on and you drown. And they say drowning is the worst way to go. I don't know. I don't imagine that there's, you know, I mean, they say that or fire. I don't know. I don't think there's any good way to go, but to absolutely just go and have that much despair, that lack of hope, that you drink.
You're not even
drink a chemical from a can of Sterno.
Yeah,
and are willing to just walk into a lake,
and it's
a shallow little lake. Yeah. It's not a big lake. I mean, it's little, and just walk in. I mean, what do? You sit there and you look up, or you've given it up. You've given it up, and for people in this country to live in those kind of conditions, you can't sit there and say land of the free, home of the brave.
No.
You can't. And that's my problem with the national anthem and the whole issue with, I mean, who cares if somebody stands for it or not?
Yeah.
You know, and they say, oh, well, you're insulting our troops. Well, you know, personally, in my family, the people in my family that have been in the armed forces, they wouldn't be behind that shit.
No.
And they would say, listen, we fought for your right to take a knee. We fought for your right to protest peacefully. I mean, how much more of a peaceful protest can you get than some NFL players taking a fucking knee? Now the argument's made, well, they're being paid, you know, they're being paid millions of dollars to play this game and blah, 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 fucking blah. Well, the fact of the matter is, too, is those guys are actually one play away from losing their career. The average NFL career is like 3-point-something years. I mean, look at Willis McGahee from the University of Miami. Look at that.
Sad.
He somehow recovered and was able to make an NFL career, but he didn't. I mean, nobody lasts that long in the NFL. And, you can say, okay, well, you're out there to put on a show and you got to do what you're told and this and that, but it's the, you know, that's just along the same lines of like the fucking plantation mentality.
Yeah.
Like if you don't, I mean, I personally at an event, I don't do it.
Yeah.
I don't take my hat off. I don't put my hand over my heart because I'm not going to pledge allegiance. I'm not going to say the Pledge of Allegiance. And I'm not going to sing the flag song. I'm not going to take a knee. I mean, I would take a knee.
Yeah.
Actually, I mean, I'm not going to bow down to it because it's bullshit.
No, but let me say, like, the one player that I got to know is Frank Gore.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. We took a freshman class in Miami. He was kind of slow.
Right. But he was fast as fuck on the football field.
He was amazing on the football field, and he had a good heart. I mean, it's just amazing because it's like, I talked to him outside of the football field, just in a class, and he was a good dude. I mean, he was great.
Well, and that's, I mean, you know, and I don't think anybody understands either what goes into being a college athlete.
Yeah.
I mean, you sign that letter of intent, and they say, these guys, they got a full ride. And,
no.
Dude, they got to eat that bullshit cafeteria food. You're talking about dudes that are trying to put on weight. Dude, you can't put on, like, you're not getting good protein in those cafeterias. You know, they're living in dorms. These guys got no money. I mean, and then their likenesses are being used on video games.
Everywhere.
And jerseys, and the universities are making billions.
The
NCAA makes billions every year off these guys. And, I mean, their whole hope, it's not to go to school and get an education. They're there to play fucking football, and they want to get through that. And the NFL has the best deal going because they don't have to pay for like a farm system. Like Major League Baseball, they have to have all these minor leagues. Like even the NBA has developmental leagues. The NFL, their developmental league is NCAA football.
Yeah.
Right? They don't have minor leagues. Like, so these kids and their only hope is to get out of a bad situation. They grow up. A lot of these kids grow up in terrible fucking, in terrible neighborhoods.
Oh, no.
And their only hope is that by running a football.
Yeah, no, but Willis McGahee and Frank Gore, they came out from, like, shitty neighborhoods.
Yeah, they had nothing.
And it's like going from a shitty neighborhood to suddenly be living in Coral Gables. And it's like, oh, my God.
Yeah. How do you deal with that?
Yeah, no, they feel like they're in heaven, but it's like...
Well, yeah, and then they got women all over them. They got temptations. Yeah. Everybody wants to be your friend all of a sudden. Like, you came from a gang-infested area where you were just trying to just play football and hopefully get a scholarship. And the chances of that even happening is infinitesmal. Yeah. I mean, the chances of making the NFL is like, it's not even 1 in a million. No. It's probably even higher than that. The lower, I should say. It's probably more like 1 in 5 or 6 million. And then all of a sudden you're on this campus, and you've never been around anything like that. You got females all over you. No, everybody wants a piece of you. You got boosters tempting you.
It was crazy that I talked to Frank Gore, and he's like, I didn't really go to school to learn. I just went to school to play football.
Right. And I knew a lot of those guys when I was I lived in Eugene for a while, and I knew a lot of those cats, and they didn't care, and they really didn't have to do much in school because, everybody knows that the idea is that you want to get that NFL contract on draft day. You want to get signed and get that signing bonus, and then But then and these guys are surrounded by their old homeboys from back in the wherever they came from, and look at how many. You'd be surprised to see how many NFL, how many professional athletes are broke and destitute that made millions. Like you look at Antoine Walker, right? His homeboys, they got him involved in so many they got him invested in these slums in Chicago that are cockroach infested shitholes that people shouldn't even be living in. And all of a sudden, he's owning these places. He doesn't know anything about owning a building. He doesn't know anything about how to fix fucking electrical and plumbing. Most of these places should be condemned and blown up. And but where do these people go? There's no affordable housing being built. It's a really bad situation, man. So just the whole thing. Yeah, I kind of got off on a sidetrack with this over the last number of days. And then you see, it's a kind of, I guess, make a little move here. The next thing on the list is this new Inflation Reduction Act. Yeah. You've seen this, right?
Oh, my God.
What do you think of that? What do you think about tax time every year? Yeah. Is it a good time?
No.
87,000 new agents.
It's insane. It's like... What's their need? It doesn't make sense.
That's what you got to ask yourself is why are they doing that? Yeah. What is the need for it? Who are they coming after? You got to ask yourself that. Who are they coming after? And the fact of the matter is that they're coming after the middle class. They just took 87 billion of that, I think, was for the IRS. The only good thing that I saw out of all of it, and this goes back to the Native American people, but there was a number of millions that were earmarked for the reservations. Good. Now, is that money going to get where it needs to go? There's going to be crooked fucking motherfuckers everywhere jumping on that shit. You're going to have casino owners, Oh yeah. It's not going to make it out to the people. It's just like the fucking 1.9 trillion of the stupid shit. Where'd that money fucking go? We're 1.9 trillion. It's gone. Yeah. You do the math on that. We've written it out. You write down 1.9 trillion next to 338 million that we have in this country, and then you figure, okay, half of those are kids. How many people out of the 338 million were eligible for a stimulus payment? And then they promise you $2,000, and they give you what, 800? Yeah. 1,200. What good does that do anybody, especially when your money's worth nothing? And the more they put out, the less it's worth. Yep. And now they're doing the same thing. There's money on this new bill that's earmarked for fucking like fucking transgender people in goddamn Bangladesh or some shit. Just like the last one, there's money earmarked for the fucking military in Greece.
What?
There was money earmarked in it for intercontinental ballistic missile systems in Israel. Pakistani gender studies in that 1.9 trillion. Yeah. What the fuck are we doing? Who the fuck is putting that shit in that bill and then fucking greenlighting it? That's the problem. We don't have a representative government anymore. We don't have, there's nobody that has a say in what the fuck these assholes are doing. They just do what they want to do. They listen to the lobby. They make their votes based on the money that they're getting. I mean, I believe the number is $5,000 a vote is what they can get from a lobbyist. Mm-hmm. I mean, these motherfuckers, and then you see them when they get it, when, you know, they're just like anything else, like locally, right? Like, I don't know where they hang out anymore, but they used to hang out at the bar I bartended at, and you would see prosecuting attorneys, you'd see the fucking municipal court judges, circuit court judges, and you'd see defense attorneys, and they would come into this bar, and they'd all sit at a table together and get drunk and drink martinis. And I'd overhear the conversation. They were like, it was like trading cards. They'd be like, oh, yeah, well, fucking, you know, Joe Schmo here, he's a douchebag, and he's been in trouble all these times. And we got him, we're holding him, and he's up on charges, and it's like, okay. And then we got this guy over here, oh, this guy's a pillar of the community, you know, he invests money, he donates, and blah, 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 and the guy might be a piece of shit. They're like, well, we'll take Joe Schmo, and fuck him, he goes to prison.
Oh, my God.
And then we'll take this fellow over here, who they're not even holding, he's out free on bond, if he even paid a bond, and they're like, and we'll just give him a little probation, a little slap on the wrist, and we'll dismiss the case. They would do that. They would do it all the time. They would do it all the time. I'd sit there and listen to it, man. It was like they're trading baseball cards with people's lives.
Yeah.
And it happens all the way up the chain, man. I mean, you give people power.
Yeah.
And you see what they're made of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, there's a handful. I watched Colonel McGregor earlier on Jackson Hinkle's show. And that's what he said, too. He's like, there's a handful that I would even trust. And I mean, that's the same with me, you know?
Yeah.
And I mean, I thought Joe Manchin was one on the Democratic side of things that was all right, but he greenlit this tomfuckery and said, "Oh, it's a good deal." But how the hell are you gonna? The money's going.
Oh no, he got some money out of that. Oh
sure,
yeah. It's
and
like,
he fucked his own goddamn state.
Yeah,
because West Virginia's coal.
Yeah,
right. And this is and a big part of this thing, like 270. I don't even know how many billions it was that is going to the clean energy, the electric vehicles. Yeah. People don't understand what it takes to not only make an electric vehicle, but how much it costs. I mean, where do you think you get electricity from? It comes from fucking coal or natural gas.
Yeah.
I mean, so you're trading off one thing.
Yeah, for
another.
Same.
Then if you're going to run the gas vehicles, then they up the ethanol limit to 20%. And so you're taking that, you know, not only is it 10%, now it's 20%. Fucks up your car, takes all that corn that's grown for silage, because most of the corn in this country is not grown for people to eat. It's grown for cattle and pigs in the poultry industry. So now you're taking another 10% from that, right? And you're putting it in a vehicle that's going to fuck up your vehicle because it's basically sugar.
Yeah.
So your fuel mileage goes down. Your car gets fucked up sooner. And who does that benefit? Oh, the auto industry, because now you got to buy another fucking car.
Exactly.
And then, you know, $50, $60, $70, $100,000 for an electric vehicle.
Yeah.
I mean, where are you going to plug the motherfucker in? I mean, you got to have a special adapter. You got to have. I mean, and so you're running it off your house, right? Okay, well, let's say that it's running. You know, you plug it in at night, right? Because you're using it during the day. I mean, so what's that do to the grid at night?
Yeah.
If everybody's got an electric vehicle and they're plugged
insane.
in, look what happens to the internet at certain times of the day.
Yeah.
Like here, I've got Spectrum, and if everybody's on the internet at certain times, and I'll watch my speed go down. Like late at night, it goes up early in the but there's certain times of the day where everybody's on that thing. And
and you just watch it like,
yeah. I mean, I don't know how stupid we have to be to greenlight this shit. And people are so dumb that they just sit back and just fucking take it.
Yeah.
They're just like, well, they know what's best. We're too stupid to fucking figure this shit out. I'm just going to fucking wander around, fucking walk into a wall over and over again, you know, keep walking on the same stupid fucking light post. I mean, I don't mean to be derogatory towards people. I mean, I think inherently people are good, but people are fucking stupid too. Especially in this country. I mean, we've become complacent. We've become comfortable. And we just allow this fucking foolishness to go on. And in the meantime, here we are, we're fucking sending money to what? Pakistani fucking transgender fucking studies? Come on. I mean, you got to be kidding me, man. Yeah. Like, and we got homeless people. We got fucking over 500,000 homeless people on the streets. We got people with no health care.
You want to try one?
Sure, I'll have one of them. Thank you. We're going to do a Kettle House Double Hall IPA out of Kettle House. They got an awesome music venue up there, man.
Yeah.
The Kettle House Amphitheater. Really cool spot. Yeah. Great place to see a show. Snap. Little snap dog.
How is it?
Feedback. Sorry. No, that's good. Yeah, I love their beer. The Cold Smoke, man. That's my favorite one, but that's really good too. Anyway, so I mean, we got all this shit going on, right? We got a national emergency with monkeypox. I mean, this is just, and we got 87,000. Yeah. Now, let me just put this out there, folks. If you are a young person and you're going to college and you're getting an accounting degree, do not go to work for the fucking IRS.
Yeah.
Do not. What kind of people are going to take those jobs? What kind of person takes a job at the IRS to be an agent? They've been stocking up on fucking guns and ammo and shit. Like an IRS agent, like at the higher level, they're allowed to go out and arrest people, and they're allowed to carry firearms.
I had no idea.
The IRS. The fucking IRS.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. And they wonder why people fucking hate them. And the IRS it's not even constitutional. The whole fucking thing was never ratified properly. And that's a whole different thing. If you guys want to watch something out there that will give you an insight into this, check out a movie called America From Freedom to Fascism. And it was written, directed, and made by a guy named Aaron Russo, who's passed away now. I believe it came out in 2006, but he talks about the whole thing. He's got IRS agents on there that quit the IRS and refuse to pay taxes because they realized how much bullshit it is. The thing was made, it was initially, and it goes back to the 1860s, right?
Yeah.
Like it was after the Civil War. So they passed a flat tax if you made over like $600 a month, right? Or maybe it was even a year, because back then, the dollar. I mean, if you look at what $20 was worth, say back in 1913, as opposed to now, $20 was worth, probably $400 or $500 now. I mean, so the currency's been devalued so much, and it just continues to do so. Every time these assholes pass one of these bills, it devalues the currency. Yeah. And now that you've got Russia and China on board, and India potentially, and they're ready to form they're ready to start a currency that's backed by rare earth metals, whether we're talking uranium, gold, silver, nickel, cadmium, and then and then you've got the whole thing with what's it take to make fucking solar panels? Who has all that shit? Look at lithium. We don't have lithium.
Yeah.
It's down in Chile. They have a huge lithium mine down there. Where was there? Afghanistan. Huh. Who do you think stepped in there to take all that shit?
Yeah.
I mean, China controls like 70% of it right now. They're going to be in control like 80% of the lithium. So where are we getting our batteries from?
China.
Our arch nemesis, right? The place where we just sent Skeletor to fucking piss off the world and try and start World War III. And now you've got the Chinese are fucking, taking off on Taiwan. You think those people wanted fucking Nancy Pelosi? They're probably sitting there going, fuck, what the fuck are we going to do? This fucking dumb bitch is coming over here. She goes fucking, and then she said some dumb shit. She said, well, as a little girl, we used to go dig at the beach, and, your parents would say, further you dig down, closer you can get to China. She says, so I've always had a really close relationship with China.
What the fuck?
From digging on a beach? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Fucking goofball. Go get your fucking eyebrows raised. She gets those eyeballs raised any further, man, and they're going to be like coming out of the top of her head.
No, I swear. She's
retarded.
Biden and
they're all just
the other senator from California. It's,
you got Maxine Waters and you got Barbara Feinstein.
Yeah.
I mean, any of them from California are pretty much a fucking joke.
They should just quit. It's like
they should just and that's the thing is they should just resign in shame and just go away. They shouldn't get any retirement money. They shouldn't get I mean those people that when they're done they get the money the rest of their life. They got better health care than everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, they pretty much got a free fucking ride, and all they did was spend their life screwing the American people and then acting like I'm a public servant. Bullshit. Bullshit. If you're a public servant, then I should have an audience with you.
Yeah.
If you're a public servant, I mean, in this state, like, if you're a public servant, then you should come over to my house and sit down and have a conversation with me. Yeah. No. Would they come in here and talk with me? Hell no. They wouldn't. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about me. They don't give a fuck about any of y'all out there. And then you guys everybody out there, you want to argue. You want to put up fucking yard signs.
Yeah.
And wear hats and fucking hate somebody because of the hat they're wearing. It's just like when I see somebody wearing a goddamn, whatever baseball hat. Yeah. I mean, I don't argue. I mean, I was walking through fucking Albertsons the other night, and I come upon this group of Asian kids, and they all got their mask on, right? And I'm looking at them, and one of the kids, he looks at me, he's got glasses on in his mask, and he sees my hat, and he's like, oh, nice hat, man. And I'm like, yeah, Dodger blue, man. And he's like, yeah. And I put my fist, and he gives me a fist bump, But they're wearing their mask. They're in Cody, Wyoming. They're wearing their mask. Like years back, I'd go play golf with my buddy Joe Jackson out there in California, man, in L.A., and we go out, and you'd have these, like, we would go out as a twosome, right? And so the golf courses are full. But because Joe's black and I'm white, they won't pair us up with any Asians, right? Which is, I'm like, what? So, like, they're trying to make foursomes. So if you show up as a twosome, then they're trying to put you with somebody else to make a foursome so they can keep, they want to keep sending people off and they want to keep it moving and everything. But we would we'd go around these courses and you'd see these, these Asian dudes before them, and they'd have carts. They'd be smoking cigars, drinking and shit, and then their ladies would be behind them in the next foursome, and they'd all have an umbrella on their and they're pushing their golf bags, like they're not even allowed in a cart, and they all would have masks on, like they didn't talk, like they were just following the men, right? And just with the mask on, and the dudes didn't have them fucking mask on. Yeah, they had umbrellas over their cart. They would just cower. And I saw that shit happen up in Alaska when I was, my grandfather had a golf course up there, and we had a deal with the cruise lines, and we'd have a lot of Asian tourists come through there, and it was the same thing. They'd show up and it'd be the same way, and it's just like, dude, you guys okay, that's your culture or whatever, but like, I would hate to be an Asian woman.
Oh my God.
I mean, we'd sit there. I mean, when you're out there, nobody lets you play through in California because the whole course is packed. It's not like going out here on this course. Yeah. Like I go out here by myself. If I get a cart, I'm like playing through people. I mean, I can do 18 holes in a fucking hour if I'm by myself. Like whack, 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 Yeah. And I'm playing through people, and people let you play through, and they don't, especially if you're a member and they know you. Which I'm not anymore because of the fucking politics over there, that fucking place. Whatever, that's neither here nor there. But, I mean, it's just an example of, there's just disparity everywhere. Yeah. And they want to talk about equality and this and that, and there's none. There's not equality. Yeah. People, and then you've got the identity politics and all this shit. People that should be, like, joining together. Yeah. And saying, hey, we're getting a raw deal. Instead, they want to fight. Yeah. I want you to call me, I want you to refer to me as them.
No.
You're a you, whatever you want to be. You can be a he or a she.
It doesn't matter.
Or an it. Yeah. But you're not going to be a them because I still follow the rules of the English language. Unless you're fucking schizophrenic and you can show me a diagnosis, you're not them. If you're schizophrenic, you can show me a diagnosis from a fucking psychologist.
And then maybe,
okay, I could call you them. Maybe. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I've watched some of the, and you got fucking Kool-Aid colored hair, like that fucking psychopath that fucking murdered all those people in fucking Illinois on the 4th of July. Yeah. I mean, anybody with Kool-Aid hair, nah. I got a set of clippers. You want to cut the Kool-Aid hair off, then we'll talk.
Yeah.
You want to be he or she? Sure.
Yeah.
Fine. I don't care if you're. Hey, I don't care. You got a package and some balls, and you want to be a she? I don't care.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt me at all. But I'm not going to call you them.
Yeah.
I'm not talking to your balls. You know, your balls can be a them, but I'm not talking to your balls. You know what I mean? I mean, this shit's just off the chain, dude. It's so fucking ridiculously stupid.
And it's everywhere. It's like...
And they're more worried about this
than
the fact that the whole country's falling apart, that we're being, our leadership is a bunch of fucking geriatric doofuses, and the ones that aren't geriatric doofuses are on their way to being geriatric doofuses.
Yeah.
I mean, there's literally, like that, what's his... I can't even think of his name. He's on Hinkle's show all the time. But he, he's one of the few voices of reason. And he said this earlier today too. He said, look, he goes, until this country has some adults back in the room, he's going, look, we fucking go to war with China. And he's like, they will do everything. He goes, these people, because the Chinese government, they think everything through.
Yeah.
He goes, they don't want to go to violence. They don't want to go to war. He goes, but they look at every single option they have. And when they define a path that they want to go down, he goes, they will go down it to whatever length. And he goes, we don't have that in this country. We don't even know. Joe Biden said he didn't even know about Trump's fucking house being raided by the FBI. He couldn't even put his fucking coat on. The guy doesn't even, that's who you all vote. That's who 81 million people allegedly voted for. Was this fucking moron that can't put his goddamn coat on. I mean, this is the guy. I mean, nobody even gives a... He's not even... dude, nobody... his own fucking party doesn't want him around.
Yeah.
I mean...
No, that's why...
It's just...
For the good of the country, he should just call it quits. And
yeah, but then we get Kamala. She's next in line.
No.
They should all just hang it up.
Yeah.
I mean, and he should be impeached and fucking done anyways because of his relationship with his son. And like I've said, I kind of feel bad for his kid because I think his kid's been put in a bad position.
Yeah.
I think he's put him in a bad position. I think Joe Biden's put his own son. He said, okay, because of my name, you can go out there and make all this money, kid.
No.
And I think that he's put him out there, and the kid's the one surviving kid. There was the accident that happened. I mean, he lost his mother, lost his brother from cancer, banged his brother's wife. That shows some... ethical and moral problems, whatever. It's not the first time that's happened to somebody, But I mean, I'm trying to find the one. There was one on here that was, I probably can't play it, but I don't give a shit. It was absolutely hilarious though, because there was guys in the background talking. They're like, "Hey, want some ice cream? There's some ice cream over here." Yeah, we'll pull this one up. In case you guys haven't seen this one, this is pretty goddamn funny. Second here. Let's take her back to the start. We'll pull it up on the screen, and it's going to take over the whole screen. So we'll be here, but just watch this.
Yeah.
Check this out. Here we go. Look at his wife. Look at the two servicemen. And look at his glasses falling off his face. Here you go, honey. What's she wearing? Where'd she get that fucking get up? Mug of drapery or what? I thought she fucking stole my curtains.
Here we go. Here we go. Glasses.
Boom. And he looks in his pocket. Oh, fucked up my butt's been wiped. Clap and everything. Yeah. Oh, this is where he's waiting for another handshake from Schumer. He's like,
now our great speaker, our partner, who all of these bills.
Oh, you realize
our partner, our great
up.
Speaker, our.
Okay, let's watch it. Here we go.
Now our great.
No, it's before. Yeah.
Oh no, he does. Oh goddamn.
No, he's the first one.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go back one more. Okay, shakes Joe's hands. Here we go. Oh, Pelosi, she doesn't know what to do. Oh,
now our great speaker, our partner, who all of
he
these
scratches his chin. Why didn't he shake my? He completely fucking forgets. This fucking turd doesn't even. He doesn't. I mean, I'm sorry. He doesn't know.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. He doesn't even know. Like, it'd be like me go,
yeah, it's
like, Jesus Christ, fuck, God damn it.
Sorry, Mike.
No shit. Got to take it off the table. Take it off the table.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Oh, shit. Whoa. We just got to keep that away from the fucking computers and shit.
Yeah.
I don't care if it goes on the floor.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we just had a fucking spill.
Whoa. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. I don't know where the paper towels are either.
Hold on. I'll go get some.
There's some in a box over here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there we go. We got an interlude. Hey, we're human too.
I'll just go get some in the kitchen.
There's some in a box right over here. They're just on a roll. You just got to pull them out. They're actually better than the kitchen ones. All right, I'm throwing my fucking notes in the trash.
Are these the ones?
Yeah, just pull out as many as you can. I don't care. There we go. That's good.
All
right. Okay, we're back, kind of. We just got to make sure that all our equipment doesn't get, beer all over it. Fucking drinking and driving. That's my fault.
No.
Well, I reached across to do a fake handshake. At least nothing got,
Yeah,
none of the equipment got fucked up. We'll be fine. We're good, people. We're good. We're good. A little comedic interlude for everybody. It's all good. I got enough of them here. I got enough. All right. We're getting her cleaned up. Damn it.
What is it?
Oh, Oh, yeah, the floor, too, I guess.
Yeah.
Shit, yeah, that's probably going to be a dirty mess. There's tattoo ink and shit all over down there. Yeah, fuck, it'll be fine. All right, yeah, here, let me get this. I got a bunch of it.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, okay. So anyway, we're just making fun of Joe Biden, and look at us sitting here fucking spilling beer all over the place. Oh well, such is life. At least it was your beer, not mine. Feedback.
Sorry.
All right,
about
so
that.
we're back. I don't know where we were at, and I just lost my notes.
So
that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know. Shit happens. Anyways, now I'm trying to think of the trajectory of the show here. Where else we're going to go? We're talking about old Biden, and we can get off of his fucking bullshit. But we were talking about the new spending bill, which is just absolute bullshit.
Yeah.
And here's the one thing, folks, is that if Congress and the Senate and all these lawmakers, if they say that something's going to be one thing, like they call this the Inflation Reduction Act, or the Inflation Reduction Bill, you can damn sure take it to the bank that it's going to be exactly the fucking opposite.
Yeah.
It's not going to be that. It's going to be the inflation bill.
Inflation creation bill.
Yeah, more inflation. So, I mean, the way I'm looking at it is probably by next year, about this time, maybe next spring, we're probably going to be around 15%.
Oh, my God.
And we're at 9.1 supposedly right now. And in actuality, that puts us at about 15, 16, 17, 18.
Yeah.
If you were actually measure it and put it out there correctly.
In real dollars, yeah.
So by then, we're going to be looking at 30, and by then, it's done. Like, I considered us to be done by now. But I also said that, well, they're going to probably try and throw one last hook at this thing, which is what they've done.
Yeah.
In effect, there's one last Hail Mary, and this is going to be the end of it. I mean, I know I've said that before, but I mean, you can't just keep doing this.
No.
It's unsustainable. We don't have anything backing our currency.
Yeah.
We have a fiat currency that is backed by zilch. Nothing. Nothing.
Yeah.
And now, we the whole thing, we're going to make Russia really hurt over this thing. Well, all we did was give them the opportunity to... Russia's been living with sanctions for fucking ever.
Yeah.
You think they gave a fuck about our sanctions? They didn't care.
Nope.
They know that they're sitting on all kinds of agricultural resources. They've got oil. They've got natural gas. People need that shit. And they're like, just pay us in rubles.
Yeah.
Fuck the petrodollar. And here we are going, but I thought we put sanctions on them. What kind of, I mean, we're stupid, man. And that's the thing that gets me is, people, we got to wake up. I mean, people got to wake up and understand what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, because the dollar is not going to be worth much.
It's not worth shit now.
Yeah.
I mean, when you've got the ruble and Brazil, they've got the real. That's like the second highest performing currency, and they're not any. They're they're a resource-backed economy.
Yeah.
Our dollar is not backed by anything other than confidence, and it is losing confidence. And if Americans weren't so fucking stupid, it would have been dead a long time ago. But we're dumb. We're going to keep being dumb because we're consumers, and we just take. We make trash, fill up the landfills. We fucking, I mean, it's like Bill Burr said, everything that you've used ends up somewhere. It's like, just because you put it in a recycle bin.
Yeah.
His analogy is, he's fucking, he's like that fucking, he talks about rollerblades, and then he's like the flannel shirt that you wore when Pearl Jam was big, he's like fucking some porpoise is out there with that thing fucking tangled around its head,
Yeah.
I mean, somewhere along the line, we've got to wise up.
Yeah.
And we've just thought that we're this fucking country that can do whatever we want and, just run around all willy-nilly.
Yeah.
And consume. Think about the electronics that we go through. Think about all the phones that are in a landfill somewhere. I mean, there's only so much, there's only so, and they could make a phone that would last forever. Yeah. They could make a car that would last forever. They could make tires that would last forever.
But it's not beneficial.
No, it's planned. It's planned obsolescence, man. It's like if, I was watching a cat earlier talking, and I'm going to tell you all this, people. If you got canned food and you look at the expiration date on that thing and you think it's expired and you throw it away, you're being stupid. Because seriously, canned food is heated up with very high temperature steam. It basically kills any biological anything going on within that food, right? Say a can of beans. It gets hit with such high temperature steam, and then it's sterilely canned. And unless that thing gets punctured, or you'll see them sometimes where they'll get dropped, like then they get botulism. But if you have a can of food, it's good for fucking ever. This dude was telling a story. He said that they were plumbing a house from like the late 1800s, and that they had to tear out the shower, and they tore out the shower, and somebody had built a shower over the front of this old pantry. And he said inside the pantry there was only one can of food, but it was like some can of some kind of potted meat or some shit. But he said it was like from the 1800s. Yeah. And he said they opened it, ate it, and it was fine, just to prove a point. Yeah. Now, I wouldn't necessarily want to do that myself, but they've also tested shit that's been around from, the 1930s, 40s, and it's still fine. So if you look in your pantry and you see like something's expired by 2 months, it's not expired. Yeah, it's still fine. It's like they put all these expiration dates on. Why do they put expiration dates on shit?
So we throw them away.
Throw it away and go get more, right? Why would a fucking bottle of Coca-Cola that's sealed up? Why would that have an expiration date on it?
No, it doesn't make sense.
I mean, you could go get a bottle of Coca-Cola a glass bottle of Coca-Cola from the 1970s. And as long as it's sealed, pop it, and it's fine. Same like getting an old can of Coors beer from. I mean, it's all sealed. I mean, so anyway, I thought that was an interesting video that I watched. Today. I mean, I don't ever throw anything away like that. Like canned food, as long as it's not like got. If you see a can that's got like the side all pooched out, it typically means that there's some kind of perforation and it's full of botulism. You throw that one away, but if you keep them in a place where they're just not getting punctured. Anyway, I don't know where we got off on that, but it's going to come down to it, though, people, because with what we're doing here, there's going to be, we're already looking at major shortages. I couldn't get grapefruit juice at the store, and I haven't been able to get grapefruit juice in a long time. Like the last 2 times I've been to Walmart, they don't have it. Nothing. Things are starting to come up missing on the shelves. Yeah. And there's a reason for it. And these idiots want to sit there and they y'all listen to fucking MSNBC and CNN and all these bullshit artists, and they that fucking Jean-Pierre, she can't do nothing if she ain't been reading it off of a goddamn her little notebook. Yeah, she should have never taken that job. I kind of feel bad for her because that's got to be the shittiest job on the planet, trying to sit there and lie for an administration. But if you're stupid enough to take the job, hey, play silly games, win stupid prizes.
No, I like the girl who was before Jean-Pierre. It's
I didn't like her, but she's better than she is. Saki?
Yeah.
At least, Saki. Yeah, she was better than that one. But, That's a shitty job. You know who I like? That fucking Sean Spicer.
Who only lasted 10 days.
That fucker cracked me up, man. He'd get so wound up there and fucking get all angry. I don't remember who it was on. They did an impersonation of him on TV on a couple different shows, and it was funnier than shit.
No, it wasn't Sean Spicer. It was, who was it that only lasted 10 days? Or was it Sean Spicer?
Sean Spicer lasted longer than 10 days. What the hell's that noise? I was like, what the?
No, who was it?
I don't remember. I'd have to Google it. Was it in the Trump administration?
Yeah.
Well, you had Sarah Huckabee Sanders afterwards. I'm going to have to just look it up here. Trump, White House press secretary. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Hold on. It is...
I mean, they've even brought John Kirby out, and he's got to come out and say shit now, because she can't handle it. You had Kaylen McEnany, you had Sarah Huckabee Sanders. She lasted for quite some time, but she got like harassed and shit with her family out to eat, and she just had enough. She had enough. Like, she's going out to eat, and she's getting fucking, like, people are accosting her and shit.
Yeah.
And then you got that fucking stupid Maxine Waters is telling everybody to go out and accost these people. It's like, you're not inciting violence. Like, you're not inciting violence by telling people to accost, people that work in an administration? Which one was this? There was
I'm thinking it might have been Sean Spicer, but
this might be, I don't know. Spicer was fucking funnier than shit, though.
Yeah.
I mean, here's his blasphemy at the first president. I mean, this guy, he was just a little potato head. He'd get so angry. This guy was funnier than shit.
Thank you guys for coming. I know our first official press briefing is going to be on Monday, but I wanted to give you a few updates on the president's activities. But before I get to the news of the day, I think I'd like to discuss a little bit of the coverage of the past 24 hours. Yesterday, at a time when our nation and the world was watching the peaceful transition of power, and as the president said, the transition and the balance of power from Washington to the citizens of the United States.
There we go.
Some members of the media were engaged in deliberately false reporting. For all the talk about the proper use of Twitter, two instances yesterday stand out. One was a particularly egregious example in which a reporter falsely tweeted out that the...
Falsely tweeted. Where do they find these people? I mean, come on. I mean, Twitter...
Yeah.
I mean, everybody gives a fuck about... I mean, Twitter is like, who gives a shit? I mean, I put goofy shit out there every day. I mean, I'm always putting stuff out there. I don't get much for responses. I mean, but...
It wasn't Reince Priebus, it was...
Oh, Reince Priebus didn't last very long.
John Kelly, Mick Mulvaney, no.
Yeah, Kaylee McEnany, she ended out she was there. She was there at the end. She came in for...
She was good, I mean...
Yeah, she came in for Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Yeah, no, but I like Kaylee McEnany. I mean, she did a good job.
Yeah, and she's still on the news. She's on the news all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, what a shitty job, though. I mean, if you're going to take that job, look, there's another one. His tie ain't even on straight. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks like that fucker from the Goonies. That fucking fucking Rocky Road, Baby Ruth. He would get so mad too.
Yeah.
He would just get mad and just flustered, and I don't blame him. I mean, when you're talking to the likes of Jim Acosta and some of these nitwits, I mean, it's like when Peter Ducey asked Karine Jean-Pierre a question. You can tell she just hates having to call on him, but she knows she has to, because if she just ignores him, then it's really going to be bad. I mean... Yeah, Melissa McCarthy did an impersonation of him, but yeah, Peter Ducey has been. I mean, that dude. He just sits there and asks his craziest question. I mean, and it's what everybody's thinking too.
Yeah.
And they've got. I mean, he just she just looks at her papers and can't answer her, and then gets mad. Like you look it up to, and it goes back months. Like there's shit that happened today. Like there's shit, and they don't put it out here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they don't want that's the thing is these these big tech companies, they control everything, and so I mean the closest that we can get is 4 days ago. Well, bullshit. I mean, there was shit that came out today. I mean, look at this. It goes a month, 8 days, 4 days, 5 days, a month, a month. Like, there's nothing like today. Like, what about today? I even put in today. And they don't want to put it out there because they wait for somebody else to clip it and then put it in a clip. But they're not going to put it. They're not going to let it go out there.
Yeah.
I mean, you can look up. I suppose you can look up the White House. They've got a site which is. I mean, they change everything on there too.
Yeah.
I mean, they go back and edit shit, man, and that should not be. That should be word for word. I mean, we got one from 9 hours ago, but that's the whole thing. That's an hour long. We don't have the time to watch that.
It was Michael Flynn.
Oh,
he lasted 24 days.
Yeah, they took him out though because they fucking railroaded that dude.
Yeah.
The FBI showed up. They told him they were coming to interview him, and he said okay, and then he sat there and lied.
Yeah.
And they took that and just ruined that dude. Like, he had to sell his house.
Yeah.
I don't even know where he's at right now, but...
And Reince Priebus only lasted 192 days.
He didn't last that long. None of them do, though.
Yeah.
I mean, look how long Jen Psaki lasted. I mean, but she had already said she was going to go away.
Yeah.
She had already made...
Oh, here we go. Anthony Scaramucci.
Oh, Scaramucci. Scaramucci, that fucking, that mafia gangster. He's like, oh, what are you fucking talking about? Fucking idiots.
Let me say, I mean, I did not like the guy personally, but he always made me laugh.
Yeah, I forgot about Scaramucci. See if we can find a clip from this guy. This guy was a real fucking clown. I don't know. There he is, Scaramucci. This guy was straight up. I mean, this guy was straight up out of Goodfellas. You know what I mean? Look at him.
Yeah.
I want to try and find him. He's even got a channel. He's got 112 videos out there. It looks like he's out talking again to people. Where's he at there? He's on talking to CBS 7 months ago.
No, just 3 weeks. For Anthony Scaramucci and Trumpers.
Yeah, I was just gonna try and find something with let's see if we just go press. There we go, press conference. This should be good. There he is. There he is at the White House. This fucking guy. Here we go.
So I'm going to be very brief. I'm going to make my remarks informal, and then I'll take questions from everybody. First off, I'd like to announce formally that Sarah Huckabee Sanders is going to be the press. Oh, you can't hear me? I'm sorry.
Oh,
Better?
He's turning it over already.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders is going to be the press secretary, and so you can congratulate her after the session. You still can't hear me? No sound? Okay. Better now? Better now? I'm going to start over. Totally you guys heard me in the front, though, right? Yeah. What I say, John? Sarah's going to be the press secretary, right? Okay, so congratulations to you, Sarah. And so I want to make a couple of statements. The first thing I want to say is I want to thank personally Sean Spicer, not only on behalf of myself, the president, the administration, but Sean is a true American patriot.
So these people are just fucking hilarious. So.
Oh my god!
Like you remember, like Ari, whatever. What was it? Ari, whatever his name was. It was George Bush Jr. Ari Fleischer.
Yeah,
he's still around too. He was a goofy one. Yeah, there's got to be something funny about him.
No, but Scaramucci. I mean,
Scaramucci was. Yeah, he had some. He's got a fucking podcast. I just want to see. I'd like to see something fucking funny about him. There's got to be something on here.
He lasted 10 days. That's it.
Yeah, Scaramucci highlights. Let's see what we got. Sack. 10 memorable quotes from 10 days.
This is obviously a difficult situation to be on your watch.
You know the other one that's interesting that is Steve Bannon.
Oh yeah.
They're going after Bannon for a contempt. Yeah. Because he refused to show up. But he wasn't even afforded the opportunity to even testify. They brought him in there, and he had to stand there. His attorneys couldn't. It was just like when they raided Trump's place last night. Like, Trump's attorneys were directed not to watch what they were doing.
Yeah.
And not look at anything that, I mean, they come in with 30 FBI agents with ARs and whatever else, and they go in there with a safe cracker into this guy's private residence and go take shit out. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what they come up with.
Yeah.
I mean, Rachel fucking Maddow earlier, she's like, this is the day that you're going to want to buy a paper and you're going to want to fold it over and put it in a bag and save it. Because this is the day. She's been fucking saying this shit for fucking 7 years, man. They ain't going to get nothing on him. Trump's gone in there and said, what do you want? His attorneys, they've tried to cooperate with what do you want? Like, whatever we have, you can fucking look at, and then they show up there. I mean, his ex-wife died. Yeah. His kid's at the house. His mother, dies 2 weeks. I mean, and they just fucking Trump in there. They go fucking flying in there with guns and shit and to take boxes of... I mean, Hillary Clinton destroys 33,000 fucking emails.
Yeah.
Any FBI agents ever, I don't even know where they live.
Yeah.
Where do the Clintons live?
Probably D.C.
Trailer park somewhere in Arkansas.
I
don't think they live in D.C. Who knows? Who knows? They probably I'm sure they got homes everywhere.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting. I'll bet their home life is interesting. Hey, Hillary. Oh my God. I'm laughing thinking about that one Family Guy where they got a clip of him and he's walking outside the house naked. It's one fine day to be nude. Chris throws something at him and he's like, I can't remember oh God. That's a funny clip. But anyhow, I digress. I'm going to shrink this thing down a little bit. If I can. I'm just going to get this guy down here out of the way. Old Scaramucci. What a great name, too. That's an awesome name. Like, I mean, if you want to be a gangster, that'd be a great name, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Scaramucci. Nobody fucks with the Scaramucci. No, but it's funny watching all these mainstream media sources. They just think that the FBI went in there and just found it's the same thing. Yeah. Oh, the walls are closing in. Bob Mueller and his investigation, the walls are... It's like, nobody remembers. It's like, hey, do you remember in 2003, you dipshits? That's like, he's the guy that got up there and said there were weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah.
Nope. Then he wastes all that taxpayer money on his investigation into Russiagate, and he gets up there and says,
yeah,
well, there's no evidence of Russian collusion, but there's not evidence of collusion either. It's like, wait, what? What the fuck are you? Everybody goes, see, he found. There's not evidence.
Oh my God.
There's not evidence either. I was like, what the fuck are you? I mean,
yeah.
These people are just clowns. Bottom line, it doesn't matter what side of the fence it's on.
Here you go. That's where they live, the Clintons in D.C.
Oh, that's a weird place. Is that in D.C. or is that?
It's in D.C. Yeah.
Really, I have never seen any place that's not just a row house in D.C. Huh. That must be a pretty upscale neighborhood.
See, there you go.
Oh, wow. That's nice. They got a little turnaround. Yeah, they got all kinds of, nice little place. I bet they got more houses than that.
Oh, yeah. No, but look at this.
Oh. That's lovely.
Yeah.
How much time do you think they spend in that swimming pool?
I have no idea.
You think Hillary swims laps every day?
No, fuck no.
You think Bill sits out there with his fucking pasty ass and fucking nude suntans?
Yeah, that's more likely.
Oh, God. No, he doesn't, because there ain't no way. That dude is pasty as fuck, man. Have you seen him recently?
Yeah.
He is pasty as a motherfucker. That dude looks like fucking, I mean, we won't talk about Casper. Jesus Christ.
Oh, my God.
He looks like hell. I mean, that's hard living right there. I remember this kid that I worked with. He was from Arkansas.
Yeah.
And his dad was doing like a life sentence in prison. And he'd always tell us how Bill Clinton was the one that put his dad in prison, And he was always saying, Bill Clinton's the biggest drug dealer in Arkansas, And we're like, whatever, dude.
Yeah. There you go.
Holy shit. That's not in D.C. proper.
It is.
That's not D.C. proper.
Oh, no, that's Chappaqua, New York. Sorry.
Oh, but that's another house of theirs?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say, there ain't no fucking...
And they also have a house in Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Sure. I mean, you know, the one thing though I will tell you about Bill Clinton is he does have the people skills. Like when my brother was working for John Kerry back in the day, he said he met him once and he met him again, and he said he'd only met him one time and he knew everything. The second time he met him, he remembered his name. Remember where he went to school? He said he remembered every little detail about him.
Yeah.
And he said he only met him once. He goes, that guy knows. I mean, he said he's got like amazing people skills. You know, and I mean, he was involved. I mean, he was the one that with Barry Seal, you know.
Yeah.
Obama yells at Bill Clinton to get on Air Force One. I've never seen this. Oh my God, we'll have to watch that later. We don't even need to get into it, but I don't know. I'm trying to think where else I was going to go with things tonight. I guess we've probably been going.
Yeah, that's
enough. It. With a spilled beer and ruined notes. And
I'm so sorry.
It's fine. It's not a big man. People spill beer. Beer gets spilled.
Oh no.
Oh, it's back. Come on. There we go. All right. Well, from the Mike Files, co-host Ricardo Torres.
I'm so sorry.
Don't be sorry.
Yeah.
It's fine. Nothing's broke. It can't be fixed. A little spray, a little paper towels, and we'll be all good. I can't think of anything else.
No.
Be good or be good at it.
Yeah.
And all things be kind of do no harm. And we'll be back at you. Peace and chicken grease. See if I can find the goddamn thing. You know, the thing. You know.
Yeah.
The thing. Oh, who wants a popsicle?